This article came out of a conversation I had with someone who teaches at a university. And they were saying that many of the young people that they were teaching have a basic objection to Christianity, even when the evidence is presented for it, that the God of Christianity is a moral monster. And this was a point that was put across by Richard Dawkins and other of the new atheists. So the question is, are we in a position morally to judge God? Are we in a position in terms of our knowledge of reality to be able to judge God? If we are not created and there is no God, then you may say what you like about God. But if, however, there is a God and we are created beings, then it is obvious that as a created being, we are in no way have the access to the information required to come to a moral judgment about the nature of God and his actions. We are a bit like the pot saying to the potter, "Why have you made me thus?" There is just a huge gap between our knowledge of things and the knowledge of things that God has. And that, in a sense, is what God says to Job at the end of the book of Job. God points out, I am the creator. I've created things. You just don't have the capacity to make the judgments you are making about me. Now, this is a really profound argument because it means that that very lazy approach that people have, which says, oh, well, God's a moral monster, therefore I can't worship him, is a misunderstanding of what it is to be a created being. If you're a created being, you really don't have the knowledge you profess to have. And what we lack is humility. Basically, we don't understand what it is to be a created being. We've lost all concept of what it means to have this relationship between a created being and a creator. And it's only because we've lost that understanding that we can make what is really an outrageous statement to call God a moral monster. Now, that doesn't mean that those who've suffered terrible things don't genuinely feel incredibly upset about the world they live in. And God fully understands that and has a lot of sympathy with Job and his complaints and says of Job, you spoke rightly. So God is not unmindful of the suffering that there is in this world, but it's utterly inappropriate to cast moral judgments against God, since we are created beings and he is the creator and he knows what he is doing and we don't. Well, thank you for listening.